Well,
Yeah.
I guess now I know how to kill you. If ever you
Yeah.
should cross me, I'll just throw some
Yep.
ham in your mouth or something and, and say
Oh, would you?
good luck, sucker. Oh wait,
Okay.
phrasing, my bad. I'll throw some pepper loaf in your mouth. That doesn't sound much better either.
Just stop
Sounds like
throwing
I'm
things in
throwing a
my mouth,
spicy
Kyle.
shit in your mouth.
Okay, you guys are ready?
I'm
Yeah, that's
ready
another
for
one pumped up
casual
out of the air. Is it
casual
making too much noise?
conversation.
You know what? I'm gonna suffer
I
one more
can't hear
time
it.
for you guys.
Thanks, Rayshawn. That's really big of you.
It really is, you know.
I know
I'm
that
always
Kyle
thinking
really
more.
appreciates it.
I love you. You're my best friend, and I think you have a nice haircut. You're covering up with that fucking hat of yours. We're all
You
trying to
know
pay
what?
compliments to each other now in this show, and that's all, just to
Yeah.
see if we get boners from each other. All right, Kelly, you got first.
All right, let's have a casual conversation. We are being subjected to a lot of unwanted self help. So I
Okay.
was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this lady saying, "It sucks to not be able to do what you want to do, but it's worse when after years you have regret that you are still at the same place. So go out and fail." Honestly, I did not have that FOMO 1 minute ago. Now I feel like I have something wrong in my life and I will regret something later. In the pre social media era, you used to ask for advice and then get it. Now there's a water hose pointed at you with high pressure, self help motivation and advice coming at you at a really high pressure. I feel like when I hear so many unwanted advice on life, career, relationships, I tend to and focus get lost and focus hard on what is wrong with my life. I feel like I have to be somewhere else even though I know I'm already at a good place, but the FOMO doesn't go. There was this other girl who was sharing her story about how she left her job after 3 years of working 12 to 14-hour shifts in some corporate, but she wasn't saying all this in a room in front of a camera. Instead, it was filled with how she was successful and that she had been some panelist on some stage and there were luxury cars, casino shots, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was her story or it was her humble bragging. Tries to make you insecure story of her life and how she moved on. I feel like this is written kind of weird. I have no clue. I believe that even if you ditch social media, the people you know and everyone around you is still hooked, so there's just no escape. And because of this, a lot of people have mental health issues, which wouldn't have happened if there was a way out of this mess. As a group of people who is constantly giving unasked for terrible advice, like whoopsie daisies, sorry about that. I don't know. Do you feel like we're being beaten over the head with
Now,
self-help?
see, this is a whole
Self-help
different type of issue. This is just the whole issue of basically of
comparisons.
everybody wanting to like be at this certain level, but nobody really knowing what that level is.
Hmm.
What you need to do is be okay with yourself. Figure out what makes you happy and stop worrying about what everybody else thinks make them happy.
Mm.
Self-help is only there when you really need it and only take it when you need it. Like some of the things people around me, there are people who have better jobs than I do, but I wouldn't want the stress that they have. I love what I do because I don't have to deal with as much stress or anything. A lot of my like is Monday through Thursday. I go to work and I'm cool with that. Like I'm chill and don't have anything. I don't have to worry about if my bills are getting paid or anything. Not it like to me. There's different versions of broke, and I've never been to
Yeah.
broke. My bills are not paid. Like that's just. I'm be honest.
Yeah.
I think we definitely get beat over the head with it. And you started to talk about it, Ray, but you kind of went the other way. But people want to be viewed in a certain way all the time. And and I talk about it with people who launch podcasts all the time. Like, we talk about it as a way to be like, how do we establish you as an expert in your field and be looked at as somebody who, is worthy of giving advice or whatever it is. Usually there's a business at the end of one side of it, for me anyway. Social media, it allows just a face to be at one side of it and be like, how do I project myself to be some successful version of myself that hopefully will make people want to do business with me in whatever kind of way that it is. And it's like, a lot of the times it takes the shape and I have like other podcast producer people that I know who do this, and it's so annoying to me but they'll post these long things about like quote unquote client testimonials and these things that they did to improve numbers. And it's like they did help them improve numbers, sure. But it's like you look at the steps that they took to do it, and it's like a lot of, oh no shit, that's what you did. Go figure. That's like podcast 101 advice. You just made somebody stick to it and do it. Why are you sitting here bragging about it like you've got unlocked some kind of fucking secret key to success and holding yourself out as like, I don't know. I guess that's the other thing too, is like self-help used to be like just something you go to the bookstore for and get self-help to like help your own psyche, generally speaking. Now there's like self-help advice fucking gurus and literally every single valley aspect, every single little nook and cranny of the goddamn internet for any super hyper specific specialization, whether it be podcasting or like how to fucking cook in a cast iron pan. Like somebody's out there doing it better than you, and they're here to give you advice about it to make you feel like shit. So yeah, we have too much self-help. Yeah, no doubt. Not
There you
including
go.
this podcast. No, we're cool.
I mean, I guess
You
I
gotta
don't
hope you're
know.
not getting scammed. A lot of them self-help shit, I don't even be paying them attention because I always think it's bullshit. You ever get them commercials that be on YouTube that be like, oh, you gotta just call this number, get $300, the federal government. Nah. I'll be like, fuck that shit. I don't listen to none of that. In my
Yeah,
opinion, I
that's
also feel like
my.
anytime you click on any of those links, they gonna fucking track your phone, and then that's a whole nother bullshit. But that's just me.
True.
I was gonna say my advice is just don't fucking look at that shit. If everything on your Instagram, all my Instagram is all these things, fucking unfollow those people. Start being interested in other shit.
Yeah,
All my
follow some
friends are always
OnlyFans
giving me
models.
unwanted advice. Don't talk to them anymore. I never get unwanted advice. You know why? Because I talk to 3 people. This is not the shit that's on my Instagram. You know why? Because I don't go on Instagram. I don't know. I feel like if you're seeing people giving advice that you're not into, just scroll on. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to read it. You didn't have to see that whole thing about how you should have started 10 years ago. Go past it. Or be secure enough to say, oh, that's maybe interesting advice.
That's
Next. Yeah.
actually kind of an interesting point, Kelly, because in terms of an Instagram algorithm, it's like it does serve up shit that you have already reacted to or spent a long time
Right.
looking at. So,
Stop
like,
looking at it.
maybe the solution or the advice here for the casual conversation that this give this person some
Yeah.
advice that they obviously don't fucking want
Don't
or
give me
are
advice.
asking for, despite
Yeah.
their whatever. They didn't ask for a response. We'll give one anyway because we're just having a casual conversation. This is a new thing we're
Free
trying out today.
will.
My point
Okay.
is, get a fucking hobby, man. Because people who get caught
Okay.
up in those kinds of like self-help, motivational, be better than you were the next day, grind set bullshit. It's
Mm.
because they take that shit on and take it so seriously because they really don't have all that much else going on for them,
They're
and that
boring.
becomes their identity. Get a fucking
This is
hobby.
why, remember in the last episode, I said a little bit of trauma makes you interesting? This girl never had the cops called on her when she was 6. She never had any kind of traumatic incident in her life, and now her life's fucking sucky and boring. You know what I mean? Like, be interesting and don't have that shit all over the internet. Look up anything else. The world is your oyster. You can Google fucking anything, okay?
I mean, not anything. You should probably try to put some
You
boundaries on
could.
it, but
I'm not
yeah,
saying you should,
don't go to
but
like Kelly's school at Google because that shit
Turn
will
your
get
Google safe
I've
search
never
off.
been arrested. So,
not yet. Not yet. All right, so definitely too much advice out there, except the
ours.
advice pod. Yeah,
Yeah.
rate
This
and
is the only one
subscribe.
you should listen to.
Honestly, that's what's fun
We
about
don't give
ours.
unwarranted advice. We give the best advice, the
True,
godly advice,
true,
only
Mm,
advice that you should ever even have to take. We get better
true.
advice than your mama and your daddy.
absolutely.
You know why? Because we don't love you enough to lie to you. We're just gonna fucking give you the straight up facts and
Yeah, it's the truth.
the objective. I almost said subjective. The objective facts about how you need to go about conducting yourselves out there in the world. Because we
Mm,
know better than you and your mom and your dad. So yeah,
yeah.
rate and
Maybe
subscribe.
Like,
maybe this girl really actually needs like some self-help. Maybe
I
you
don't
should
think she
take it.
thinks she does. I think she thinks she's all set and then she's cool as fuck.
Yeah, but obviously the universe doesn't agree.
Should we respond to this girl's Reddit post with a link to our podcast called the Advice Podcast and be like, we'll quote her little thing about unwanted advice and we'll be like, hey, it's funny you said that. It's actually
It would be funny.
hilarious you said that. We just responded to this post where you don't want advice from people, and we did it on our podcast. That's called the Advice
Yeah.
Podcast. Isn't that funny as fuck?
And
This is
I
like a
just
real
insult her, tell her she's fucking boring.
yeah. I told her to get a hobby, I think.
So, yeah.
She should though. A hobby's good for anybody regardless of the
How do you
circumstance, you know?
yes. Even, like, go for a walk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Go
get out of
touch
there.
grass.
Hmm.
Stop being a bum. Stop
Google how grass became so popular in the United States.
I don't think that's
Get
a thing you should
into a
Google.
conspiracy.
Mm, that's not good advice. See, we've gone on too long now. We're
It's
just starting to fucking
subjective.
throw out anything. Get into a
I
conspiracy.
think that that is a good advice. If you're
Which
trying to get
level?
out of being bombarded by self-help, be bombarded by something else, which is conspiracies.
Honestly, yeah, it'll probably only take you about like the 3 to 6 hours to start getting like QAnon and like anti-pedophile
Yeah.
groups suggested to you on Facebook. Like if you really want to
To
hit a
really
hobby,
change it up.
you really want to hit the ground running on a hobby,
Yeah.
dude, that's really the route you should go. You're right, Cal.
That's a pivot for
Change your life
sure.
in no time.
Okay.
Big
All
pivot.
right, all
It's a
right. I
pivot.
think we got it, guys.
Okay, Rayshawn's being the voice of reason here.
Rayshawn's like, wait a minute,
Rayshawn's
let's not
reining
talk
us
shit about
in.
QAnon,
Oh
guys.
boy. Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Would you rather? Which would you rather do for the first time once again? The choices are listen to that one song, watch that one TV show, or meet that one person.
Some deep
I
fucking
know.
question right there.
Ah,
Oh, it's not hard for you? All right, what do you got? It's
no,
a
not
TV
hard for
show,
me.
right? Is
I've
it a TV
never
show?
liked anyone right away when I meet them. So meeting someone again for the first time, I wouldn't want to do that. I just find it so uncomfortable. Every time I ever like meet someone, like first meeting, ugh, I genuinely dislike it. I need to know someone for a while before I can tell if I even can tolerate them. So definitely not that. I like music a lot, but like a song is so short. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like it's too
Nah,
short.
sometimes it can, like, really kick you in the emotional gonads, though.
Yeah,
You get that
but
feeling in the
like
pit of your
you can
stomach.
just listen to it again and still get it though. No, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but, I mean, the first time it happens is like a goddamn revelation.
Watching that one show though, like when you watch a show for the first time, you're like, "Yo," and then it becomes your personality, or is it just me? For the next 4 years, that's it for me. It's
It's
definitely
not
that
just
one.
you. No, I do that shit a lot too. Which
Yeah.
show is it for you, though? Do you know what show it is?
Well, maybe because during the pandemic, I like started rewatching anime again. I'd gotten out of it for a long time, and I watched Haikyuu, and I fucking oh my god, fell in love with it. I never thought I'd watch a show about volleyball. I got so into it, and I started watching all sorts of shit. So probably that one.
Was that, like, your gateway anime drug? Yeah?
Well, no, because I was already into anime from before. Like when I was in high school and college, I watched Bleach and Naruto and like I read manga and all that sort of shit. But then, like, I don't know, I had kids and I didn't have time and I like stopped doing it. You know what I
Kids
mean? I
took
was
the
just like,
joy out of my life.
yeah, they sucked all my free time away. Um, but then yeah, during the pandemic, I was like, I don't know, I should watch something. What should I watch? I don't know. I watched this show about volleyball. People said it's good. Looks shitty. I cried so hard. I've never been so into a show.
I was gonna
Every
say next thing you
character,
know,
like
yeah,
nuts.
every 22 minutes, you're good for, like, 1 or 2 good cries. That's
I
perfect.
started playing volleyball, like, at home.
Damn.
It's fucked. Yeah, I bought a volleyball, I carry it with me everywhere. It was, like, really annoying.
Jesus Christ, you really are
Yeah, I
14.
know.
Rayshawn, what do you think? Song, person, TV show?
I probably would go with watch that one TV show.
Is it Dragon Ball?
Probably, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dragon Ball, Pokemon.
We are all
Oh, or
such fucking
Pokemon?
nerds.
Anyone who says meet that one person, like, I don't know you. Like, how? Like, first meetings with somebody are never good.
Uh, I've had good first meetings with people. The thing is,
Yeah.
like, the one person I could go meet again or whatever, or would want to go meet again,
Yeah.
probably not a person I should meet again. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
it's a person I've met several times throughout the course of our lives where I'm like,
Gotta stop
probably
meeting you.
probably shoulda, yeah, not met you a second and third time again in our lives. So it's, like, tempting to say that one because I know the good, bad chaos is right there and it's exciting and whatever,
Mm.
but I don't know, TV is important. I'm having a tough time picking one definitive show. If I were to pick a show,
But, like, could you pick one song? Like, I couldn't pick one song.
I don't think I can pick one song either, no.
Yeah, I couldn't pick one.
I could, like, make you a list of 10, maybe.
I could pick a couple artists or something, like, but one song? Like, no way.
One
Rolling
song.
in the Deep by Adele.
Really?
That's not even a bad pick, dude. You remember when that song first hit the radio? You were like, "Yo, what the fuck is this? This is cool as hell. What's up with this girl's voice?"
I don't even really like Adele.
That
She's
first
a
album is sick as hell,
top
dude.
3. She's a beast. I used to love Adele. Well, I still do, but
Hmm.
I'm trying to think. I kinda wanna pick a song, but I can't think of a good enough song. TV
When I'm on
show,
the
I mean,
spot, I can't think
yeah.
of anything I like when I'm on the spot. Someone's like, "What do you listen to?" And I'm like, uh, I can't think of, like, a single song I like."
I mean, I recently had, like, one of my favorite bands from when I was a kid, like, a bunch of the old members got back together into, like, the current day band, and they're, like, a
Mm,
super version of the old band now, which is
what is
sick
it?
as hell. It's Halloween. That's the hoodie I was wearing last episode with the little pumpkin head on it. They're like a
Mm,
'80s power metal band from Germany. They are definitely not up either of your alleys, but I fucking
never
love
heard
them.
of it. Yeah.
Harmony guitars, like, lots of double bass, speed riff stuff. They all got their old members back, like, one of the old singers from, like, 1989 and one of the old guitar players from, like, 1992. I saw him on tour with Jimmy a couple months ago. Amazing show.
Mm,
Newest album. It's a revelation because I've hated every album they put out since 1989 because 'cause I'm a weird old man. So, those 2 albums, that lineup, plus a couple extra amazing parts and this new super version of it, and when I heard this one song they put out called Skyfall, it's 12.5-minute power metal fucking epic.
damn.
I had a minute where I was like, "This is one of the greatest songs that I've heard in a long fucking time," because it just matches the aesthetic of that tone from those 2 albums way back then very well, but, like, with updated production values. So,
Mm.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to, like, that's not the fucking song I picked, though, to, like, go
The
back and revisit,
show.
but that's, like, the one that I'm, like, kind of relating to in the moment that I can kinda most recently think of. If I were to pick a show, OG Dragon Ball, like, the first time I watched that when I was, like, 22, 23 was a fun
Yeah.
stretch. First time I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, seasons, like, 4 through 7 on TV, that was a real special time, not only just, like, in television, but in my life, like, middle school and
Mm.
stuff. That was a good, like, first time watch. I'm sure that there's others. I just it's tough to say, man, just one TV show? No, I think it'd be a song, and then I'm like, "No, one song? What am I doing here?" And it can't be a person because the person's toxic, so
For me, with the show, there's way more because I'm, like, really into, like, fandom. I read a lot of fan fiction. So if I, like, really get into a show, it opens up a plethora of content for me to consume. So, for sure going with that one.
mm,
okay.
Mm,
Man,
mm.
Man in the Mirror is a good song.
yo, if I were to pick a Michael Jackson song, I pick the song that I think of every time I hear it. I think of Rayshawn, which I sing it to him all the
Mhm.
time, and I don't think he likes it, but Imma do it anyway now. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care
Mhm,
about us.
mhm.
So, like, I watched the
It
video and
hit me,
everything.
kick
Never
me,
I've
everybody
never
hit
heard this.
me. It's a
Oh my
pretty good
god.
song.
A
I've never
fucking
heard this
awesome
song.
song.
They don't
It's
really care about us.
and it's
Michael
like all the
Jackson got
kids
some.
fucking
He
singing
got
in
a
the
nice little
goddamn
catalog.
lunchroom cafeteria, like, banging on tables and shit. It's not the song I'm picking to re-listen to for the first time, but that's actually a pretty good dark horse pick. Because sometimes that shit just pops in my head and it stays there for, like, 3.5 hours. It's annoying, but it's a welcome kind of annoying because it's funny. Oh,
Hmm,
things are more acceptable when they're funny. I get what you were saying before.
see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
I
Okay.
just think that things should be, like even crimes, I think crimes should be, like, less illegal if they're funny. I don't know why.
Uh, alright, song.
Yeah.
Bill, Billy Joel, and So It Goes. Ugh. It was either that one or Lullaby Goodnight My Angel. It was one of the two. I'm going and So It Goes. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Dragon
You're
Ball and
locking in
So
with
It
that.
Goes, and you're picking Haikyuu, right?
Well, it didn't say I had to pick the show, but just like, yeah,
Pick
in
pick
general,
a show.
yeah, it would be a show.
Hmm. Okay. So a couple of anime nerds and a Billy Joel old man. Cool.
Yeah,
Perfect advice, literally for nobody who asked. I
they would
love it.
all be anime. Any show I were to rewatch for the first time, it would be an anime. Absolutely.
Well,
All right.
TV shows, so it goes, and so it goes, and so will you too soon, I suppose. Okay?
All right.
Am I the asshole for expecting my sister-in-law to let my daughter use her car after she just got into an accident? Now, here's the beauty about this post. As I read this shit like 15 minutes after it was posted, I said to myself, this fucking idiot's gonna take this down in a little while. Let me make sure I grab the text. So I did. Am I the asshole for expecting my sister-in-law to let my daughter use her car after she just got into an accident? My daughter, 22, just got into a car wreck 5 days ago. She was at fault. She sideswiped someone in her blind spot. It completely bent her frame and her car is beyond repair. The only dealership that will approve her for a vehicle won't have her vehicle available for 2 weeks. It's a buy here, pay here. Woof. Now, my brother and his wife are buying a part of my land, 2 acres. My brother makes monthly payments on it while his wife stays home all day. She claims it's because the pregnancy is destroying her legs and it hurts to walk. Since she has been out of work, I knocked $300 off the monthly cost to help him out. His wife doesn't ever go anywhere, so her vehicle just sits in the driveway. My daughter obviously needs a car, so I talked to my brother 3 days ago and told him that for the next 2 weeks, they should consider allowing my daughter to use the vehicle because I don't have time to take her to work, and Uber would be costing easily $200 a day. Jesus Christ, bro, due to the distance. My brother said, that's probably not going to happen. And I said, we'll make it happen. After all, I'm knocking money off their monthly rent, and it's the least they can do. I call him this morning and ask him why he hasn't gotten back to me. And he says, my wife isn't comfortable with your daughter using her vehicle after just crashing her own, and gave some excuse of the car is the only thing she really has. So it's a big ask. I guess because his wife has been selling off her stuff to make bills since she's out of work. I told him he needs to figure it out or the payments will go back up because I will need to help my daughter get a vehicle. He says I'm an asshole because I'm taking my daughter's negligence out on them. Am I the asshole?
See, that's a hard one. But see that's a hard one because you're
It's
helping
not
them
a
out
hard
and you're
one.
feeling like they should kind of help you out too. And I can feel them on that
Yep.
because if I'm taking part of your rent, like letting you be able to pay what you can pay, and I feel like you're in a situation where you can help me too, and you don't want to do it, then why am I helping you? I can feel that whole situation. I guess you can go from it's like, oh, I guess your daughter crashed her car and all. Yes, but at the end of the day, you still live not with by the rent you should be paying. So I mean, you still kind of living rent free, not totally, but you basically, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a hard one. This
I
is
don't
a
think so. I think he's the asshole. I think he is in every right to ask them to consider it. How he said, hey, you should consider maybe letting my daughter use your car. I think it was fine to ask them to consider it. I think they considered it and they said no. And that's that. She crashed the car. She crashed. That woman is 22 years old. That adult. She's an adult. She's
and they
22
should be able
years
to
old.
pay regular rent, right?
Yeah, but they didn't ask him, hey, oh, can you please take $300 off of my rent, pretty please, as a
I
favor
don't
to
think
me?
either
He
he
just
did it
did
from the
that.
goodness of their heart or of his heart, knowing their situation, or they probably asked him.
I
It's
think that
like,
it's unreasonable to ask a pregnant woman to be out in the middle of nowhere with no vehicle,
but she's at home
personally.
all day.
But you can have an emergency at home.
True.
You could have something you have to go do. She
But if
has
she's
every
having an
right
emergency, should she
to
be
be able to
driving?
leave her house if she wants to, because she's an adult and she didn't crash her car. That 22-year-old,
And
that
she can
sucks that
pay
she
regular
crashed her
rent
car.
too. Like she's old
They
enough to
could
be
pay
able to go and
regular
do
rent.
that.
And I'm not saying, I think the reason why that he's being an asshole is because exactly what he said. That the guy who owns the land is taking his own daughter's negligence out on the brother and sister-in-law. They had absolutely nothing to do with that situation at all whatsoever. They are not involved. They don't have an extra vehicle floating around. She has her main vehicle that currently she's not really using very much because she's pregnant. But guess what? She's an adult and owns a vehicle, and she has every right to use it as much or as little as she wants because she owns it. She doesn't have to loan it out to some 22-year-old who just crashed her own car. If you crash your car, get a bus pass. Walk the 3 miles to the bus and take the fucking bus. You crashed your car. I don't know what to tell you. If he has to be like, well, I'm going to increase your rent back to the 300. Well, I mean, I guess you can do that, but I think you're an asshole.
What? I mean, he has to help pay for the car.
He doesn't have to help pay for the car. Why
I
would he have
mean,
to help
How
pay
you
for the
know it's
car?
not his car to begin with? It's
It's
probably
his
like
22-year-old daughter's car. 22. She's not 17. She's 22. She has a job. She can get her own car.
I don't think
I
he's
mean, and they
wrong
can
to
look.
make the ask or anything, but I think the
Same.
real shitty part about it is like he did a nice thing for them, given that his sister-in-law wasn't going into work because she's super pregnant. He did a nice thing for them and then tried to retroactively hold it over their heads to make his
Yes.
life a little bit more convenient for the next 2 weeks. Because honestly, I don't think it's gonna be like an Uber's gonna cost $200 a day, and I definitely can't drive her. I'm busy. It's like, bro,
You can take a
you're
bus.
probably not that busy. You should probably
Doesn't have
figure it
any
out.
friends.
Yeah, you're just I don't know, you're making a bigger deal out of it than it needs to
I
be.
probably would kick them out.
Would you? Over
No.
I don't know about that, man. They're
Over your
buying
own
part of
Because to
kids
their
me,
making a
it's
mistake.
buying part of their
to me,
land, man. Like,
it's like I don't know. It's like I'm helping you, but it's like you can't help me back, and that's how I see it because it's brother to brother. I'm not asking you. I don't care what your relationship is with my daughter. It's me to you, and it's just that's how I would see the situation. Me personally.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think about your own vehicle. If I were at home pregnant, which I have been before, right? Home, and I don't
well,
really want to drive that much because I'm not feeling my best, right? I don't feel comfortable giving my only mode of transportation up to some 22-year-old kid who just recklessly got into an accident. It's my vehicle. It's my link to the outside world. If I need to go get a coffee, if I want to go meet up with my friends, if I want to go see my mom, if I just want to go for a drive and get out of the house, if something
or if your
breaks
water
and I need to go
breaks and
fix it,
yeah, sure.
I want to be able to have my vehicle. And think about how personally people take their vehicle. Even right now, I wouldn't want someone to take my car and then I don't have a car. You know what I mean? Like, I would hate that personally. I would
See,
not like that.
I see what you're saying, but then I kind of see it like as a give and take, where it's like if you were like living with someone, right, and like say you were living with a guy, he doesn't
Mhm.
have a car, he goes to work, you don't go to work, but it's like you're living there for free.
I would never live with a guy who doesn't have a car.
I'm just saying, like if that was the switch off, you get what I'm saying?
No, because I just wouldn't do that. I am an adult. I have a vehicle. That's mine. You know what I mean? She's the 22-year-old is an adult who had a vehicle that she was reckless and irresponsible with and now no longer has one. That's not
Have you
my
guys
fault. That's
have you
not
ever
my
been out?
problem.
Have you guys ever been without your vehicles for a couple
Yes,
weeks at a time? Like,
it
yeah,
sucks.
honestly, it's a lesson learned, dude. Drive careful next time.
You
Your
fucking
next
learn.
2
It
weeks are gonna suck
sucks.
for you.
And
Yeah.
imagine having that be your situation where you don't have a vehicle for a couple weeks and it's not even because of your own fault. It's because the person who you're paying to live with is holding it over your head and is saying, well, I'm going to charge you $1 million unless you give up your car for my daughter because she wrecked her car. What a
'Cause my
dick thing to
daughter's an
do.
idiot.
I
Yeah.
think, personally. I
I
think the
think this guy's
guy is
Well,
an
definitely a
this is
dickhead.
asshole.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like what 2 weeks? Then it's like
So
really, I
she
would
can
have
suck
worked
it up
in
for two
more. I
weeks.
would have worked in like so. Can we take off 500? She can take the car. Like I don't really like. That's how I
I
would have
don't
seen it,
know.
but I guess a lot of people just a lot differently. You know what I mean?
And
If
then
I'm
this girl
not
doesn't seem
using
like
it,
a good
but it's like
driver.
it just
Fucking up your
depends.
car.
It,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
It didn't say like she wrecking cars every time. This could be her first wreck. You never wrecked once?
I've wrecked 7 cars. 7. And guess what?
Yeah.
I didn't say, you
Would you
need to
would
give
you
me a car. I wrecked my car. I said, well,
everybody's
fuck.
different.
I guess
Well, I
I'm
mean,
gonna have to
like,
like take the bus.
yeah, it's different.
You've wrecked more cars than Rayshawn's lost Social Security cards. Uh,
Yeah, 7.
I never,
No,
I
I'm not
never read
exaggerating.
through. I never read through the comments usually, but I
Oh,
feel
what do
like
they
this one
say?
did a pretty good job at mentioning a couple of things that we didn't say anything at all about, and
Mm.
mostly it's like the financial leverage that a car can provide you, especially given if like you're not making the money you used to. He kind of mentions it briefly in there, like she's holding on to it. It's the only thing she has in case she has to sell it because they can't make their bills. But this comment is, "You're the asshole. Your daughter just crashed her car. It is quite reasonable for anyone to not be comfortable loaning her their car, especially if they're in a tight financial position. Having a car could be the difference between your sister-in-law being able to go back to work after the baby is born versus being stuck at home. Do you have the money to replace your sister-in-law's car if you force her to let your daughter drive it and she crashes it again? How would you make that right? If you're the one who forces the issue for a compromise, why don't you give your daughter your car and then you drive your sister-in-law's? That way, you assume the risks of your daughter driving, which you don't seem to think are excessive, and your sister-in-law's car is driven by you, a more experienced driver addressing her concerns." I kind of like that actually.
That's
Not a
actually
bad,
really not a bad compromise. Mm.
yeah,
And then even then, I don't think that the sister-in-law is obligated to even loan that guy her car, really,
yeah.
especially after he was kind of a jerk about it. But that's yeah. Why don't you let the daughter drive your car, huh? Huh?
I,
Huh?
hey, just have
He's
your
probably like, because
shit
it's
out of
my
here.
car. I wouldn't want to have her drive my car.
I'm not gonna let her drive the truck. I bet you that's the kind of guy we're
Just
talking
scratch
about.
it up. Well, there you go.
I gotta bring the truck to the job site. What are you talking about, you
She doesn't know
asshole?
how to
And then it's
drive
like,
that thing.
I
hey,
won't
buddy,
even. I won't
asshole.
even argue with you. I'll be like, have your shit packed by the end of the month. We'll figure something out.
Bro, that's the court though is gonna have to get involved because they're purchasing land from them. I would try to avoid that
Yeah,
shit at
it's
all
not like
costs.
renting. It's
I would
like
just tell my
buying.
daughter, tough fucking shit for 2 weeks. Figure it out. You're 22. It's not like you're
Yes,
15 trying to get to your
that's
job at McDonald's. You're
yes.
22.
That's my main issue too. Is she's 22. She's not 16. This isn't her first car. She wrecked it. What is she gonna do? She's 22 years old. She's more than capable of taking a bus. She's more than capable of coordinating with friends to be like, "Hey, what time do you go into this area? You think you could pick me up?" She's more than capable of figuring that out.
Unless she's not capable, and this guy is not painting a very full picture of the capabilities of his
Yeah.
daughter, mentally
In which
speaking.
case, well, that fucking sucks. Even more reason why I'm not gonna let her use my car.
In which case, dude, call the van, get the van to bring her to the appointment.
Mm. What's the van?
Oh, it's like a van that developmentally disabled adults will call to be able to get to their medical appointments. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. So we say this guy's the asshole. Rayshawn's totally on his side.
Yeah.
I'd say
So we're
one, two,
on it. We're
three, you're
fighting.
the asshole, but we can't all
We
yell
don't
that at the
agree.
same time. So you know what? That's good. It's
It's
healthy.
good.
We can't all
Nice.
be on the same page at all the same time. Otherwise, this show just wouldn't be fun.
Yeah. The episode where we agreed on everything was so weird. Or that episode where we're
Honestly,
like,
there are some episodes where we do that, and I'm like, what the fuck did we even do this for today?
yeah,
Just
what
to
was
like
it?
all pat each other on the back about how cool and on the same page we
Yeah.
are.
We're all morally great. Good
Yeah,
job,
we are
guys.
basically the coolest people that you're ever going to hear speak for a long period of time on a podcast. And if you don't believe that, well,
You're
maybe
just
you
not
just listen to
listening.
too many podcasts. No, you've listened to too many podcasts, honestly. You should only be listening to this one. Rate and subscribe. Rounding it out, Senor
Rayshawn.
Rayshawn.
Ask Reddit. What's hard for you to resist if you see it on a restaurant menu?
I'm going to answer for Rayshawn because I got to see this happen when you visited us. It's chicken wings, dude. And I have the same fucking problem. Boneless chicken wings, I want them all the time when I see them. We went out to every restaurant. Your eyes went immediately to chicken wings. And we usually got them. Sometimes we get some other stuff too, but you fucking love chicken wings, dude.
Chicken wings are good, but
Mm.
actually, the hardest thing for me to ever resist on a menu is a drink. It is fruit punch. I
That's
drink.
Ooh,
true too. Oh my god. I said that on the one of the super dopes. I was like, one of the most surprising things I've learned about Rayshawn is that he loves fruit punch. He asked for fruit
really?
punch at every single restaurant we went to, and they'd be like, "No, sorry, we don't." We'd be like, "All right, well, I'll have a Sprite."
They're probably like, I've been a
That's my
waitress for 20 years. No one's ever fucking asked me for a fruit punch. Wow. Okay.
Fruit punch makes sense though. I mean,
That's
fruit punch is
nice.
great.
maybe at 6:30 in the morning it makes more sense than like if it's dinner time. I don't know. I like
Really?
fruit
I
punch
think
a
the
lot.
opposite. I feel like
I
fruit punch
drink
is
fruit
not
punch
a
all
breakfast
day.
drink.
Yeah, I just don't get it very often. I never think of it. I'm a Diet Coke
Mm.
aficionado, and by aficionado I mean fucking crackhead. It's really bad how addicted I am to Diet Coke. But
Yeah, it's not good for you.
if I don't pick a drink, I'm not going to pick a drink.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's tempting to just go buffalo chicken tenders because I'm
Mm.
5. Um, I'm always good if it's a place with a good fillet. I'll always get a fillet. Also, if they have a really nice like Swiss mushroom burger, I'll usually
Mm.
get that shit. I love like a burger with a bunch of like mushrooms and onions on it and shit.
Yeah.
Those are mostly my weaknesses, but I think the one that I always have a tough time saying no to is boneless buffalo wings because they're good literally all the time, every
Hard to fuck
single
them up.
meal, morning, noon, and night. Keep them in the fridge if you don't want them right now. Eat them again a little bit later. Like they're very versatile food, and by versatile I mean they're always there to make me feel better when I'm hungry.
Comfort
See,
food.
now I figured it out. There's only 3 things that I will eat from most likely from a restaurant if I'm going out with you. First, probably chicken wings, hamburgers, Alfredo pasta.
Mm.
Mm. Alfredo's good.
These are the 3 things that I am usually able to choose if I see it on the menu. If I can find one of these 3 things, I can probably eat there. If I cannot, I'm probably just gonna be like, oh, well, I'll eat somewhere else because I don't really like to try new food sometimes.
Mm.
Sometimes I don't like to be adventurous either. I like the sure thing because I don't know. I don't eat. I
I don't
eat
like to
enough.
waste money on
Yes,
food. I think that's what it is. I don't like to waste money on food.
I don't like feeling shitty after I eat something I didn't enjoy because that's usually what'll happen. I'll start to feel
Mm.
crappy. I'm like, man, I should have just went with the safe food. You have safe foods, don't you? Only eat like cabbage for long stretches at a time, Cal?
I was just gonna say that it's so funny that our safe picks are really different. Because for me, if I go to a restaurant, first of all, I don't go to places that have like boneless
A
chicken wings.
fryer
Because
later. Yeah,
yeah,
fryer
because I
later.
feel like
Fart
that'll
your
kill
back.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. So I like to fuck with like a nice cheese plate. If there's like a cheese medley,
You
I'll
can put a
order.
jam and some
Okay.
fruit
Oh
on it.
man,
Yeah.
that's
We
A
like a
know. We
Mediterranean
know.
appetizer
spread
type of thing.
into
Bougie
that.
ass.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. And any kind of like it's so funny you said cabbage because any kind of Brussels sprout or like green veggie medley situation, like I'm gonna eat it. But especially Brussels sprouts. If they have Brussels sprouts, I'm ordering them. I love
Like
Brussels sprouts.
baked Brussels sprouts with the oil and the salt, right? Yeah,
Roasted,
roasted.
sauteed, shredded in a salad. I'll fucking eat it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Huh. All I've done with this segment is made myself
Kinda
way
hungry.
hungrier than I thought I
Yeah.
was gonna be at the end of it. I
Fresh
really
pickles.
think
I like that.
I fucking love pickles too, dude. That sounded worse than I meant it, but I love them. 'Em. They're my
Yeah.
favorite. Give me
Pickles are wicked
pickles.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had other pickled vegetables? Like pickled
Um,
carrots or pickled green beans?
I
Pickled
don't
onions?
think I don't think that I have. Maybe like the little
Good.
pickled onions, maybe. I think I maybe
Mm.
tried those before, but not really.
I like pickled green beans. We call them dilly beans. They're really good.
We meaning just you and the girls or
Just me and my, imaginary audience that it watches my whole life.
the royal we. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, we
All
like
right.
them.
So me and Ray are picking like basically
Normal
the
shit.
appetizer section of like any fucking bar pub menu. Some
Yeah.
fry later shit, some chicken wings. Yo, onion rings. I love onion rings, man.
Ooh. I'm like
Mm.
anything at a vegan restaurant. I'm like in the vegan section. You know what I mean? Like the vegetarian options.
Yeah, you're so lame, man.
I know, isn't it so
I
fucked?
like good
Yeah.
Like, do you
crispy
have any
fries.
cabbage?
Yeah.
Just
Do you guys
spread
make
some
me
out
a
for me,
cabbage
please.
soup and maybe some roasted
I
Brussels
don't even
sprouts?
think you could eat cabbage from everybody.
What
In
do
my
you mean?
opinion,
I love
I don't know.
cabbage.
I just, I know. I mean, yeah, but I don't think some people would make good cabbage. I don't know.
I think it's kind of hard to fuck up cabbage because it's got that distinct flavor. So if you like the way it tastes,
I wonder if the cabbage I eat tastes like the cabbage you eat.
Have you had corned beef and cabbage
Like the way
before?
I'm thinking. No, I've never. What the hell? What?
That's why
corned
exactly.
beef
All
and
right. So
cabbage.
I'm glad that I asked. Like,
Just genuinely, if you just took a chunk of cabbage and just boiled it and then put a little bit of salt and pepper on it, I could eat a whole fucking head of cabbage.
Dude, we
Just
put
like
like
that.
ham hocks in it. Get the flavor. It's
I don't
I
really eat
juice
a
don't
is
lot of
know.
meat.
going. Maybe you'd like
Yeah.
corned beef and cabbage, Rayshawn. It's just
Corned
corned
beef is
beef,
good.
like a big, half roast of it that you'd kind of get like the deli
I don't think
counter or
I've ever
whatever.
had corned beef.
It's
It's an
very
old
Irish.
person meat, but sometimes.
I
Oh,
might
did
be
I catch
allergic
it?
to that.
I caught it. I caught it.
I might be allergic
Holy
to corned beef.
shit.
Yeah, y'all
You
saw
just
me
did
do the
that.
karate. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, y'all just saw me do the Karate Kid. I've been fucking waiting to do that for like the last 2 hours.
Bro.
All right, glad that that's over and done with now. But yo, you throw the cabbage in with the corned beef, and you throw in
Good.
No,
like
I
some
might be allergic to that.
potatoes.
What do you mean
What, corned
allergic?
beef?
Allergic to what?
No, because
Beef?
like
Because
my
it has
mom,
pepper
she
on
was
it.
like, you allergic to some like old people meat, like some meat old people
Pepper
like.
loaf,
I don't know what it is. It's some meat they
olive
like
loaf.
that
Corned
I
beef
can't
is
that it
still
like.
just beef. So if you're not
Oh
allergic to
well,
beef,
Yeah,
no,
you're
well
probably in
never
good
mind.
shape.
it's
Maybe you're
fine. It's
allergic
just
to
boiled
olive
beef.
loaf or pepper loaf. You guys ever had that shit? That's some old
Maybe
No,
it's
person
I could
deli
never
meat.
eat that.
I worked in a
It
lot of
looks
delis
funky.
growing up, and dude, old people love their olive loaf
It's
and
so
pepper
gross.
loaf. It smells worse than they do. That's why they get it, to mask their own smell of their own decaying organs on the inside. They carry around a fucking like half pound of pepper loaf in their front
Ugh.
pocket of their sweater
It
or
looks
whatever.
like vomit.
Sort of, but you know what? Real talk, it's actually better than it looks. All right, it smells a little funky, but it tastes better. I like olives though.
I like olives.
You love olive loaves?
I've never had an olive loaf. What the fuck?
You
I've
probably
never
would
had that.
hate an olive loaf. Yeah, you would
I
hate
don't
that
like deli meat. I'm afraid of it.
because of the nitrates.
It'll give me listeria.
What the fuck? I don't even know
I
what that
can't
means.
remember the last time I had a deli meat sandwich.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
I guess now I know how to kill you. If ever you
Yeah.
should cross me, I'll just throw some
Yep.
ham in your mouth or something and
Oh, would you?
say, "Good luck, sucker." Oh wait,
Okay.
phrasing. My bad. I'll throw some pepper loaf in your mouth. That doesn't sound much better either.
Just stop
Sounds like
throwing
I'm
things
throwing
in
a
my mouth,
spicy
Kyle.
shit in your mouth. All right, we're
Gross.
done. That's the
Take
advice.
this
Don't throw.
pepperoni.
Yeah.
I like pickles.
Oh my god. All right, I'm not gonna throw a pepper loaf in your mouth because that's a spicy big piece of shit. Probably is what a pepper loaf would be, I guess. If we're gonna keep going with this, make sure you rate and subscribe to the Advice Podcast wherever you're listening. If you're on YouTube, especially. Please like the video and leave a comment down below. Helps for engagement and helps it get recommended to other people. What do you think? Are we being subjected to way too much unwanted advice and all that bullshit? And by that, I mean, tell us how much you love our show. What would you rather do for the first time? The song, the movie, or meet that person that you shouldn't have met in the first place? Was that dude an asshole for his sister-in-law being pregnant and not giving up the car? And what do you always have to shove into your big fucking mouth hole when you are at a restaurant, you fat piece of shit?
Nice.
Hopefully it ain't butt cheeks.
Bye.
Don't be a butt cheek and don't throw olive loaves into your
In your
friend's
friend's
mouth.
mouth.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't really go there until you went there. You know what I mean? All right, it's fine. Goodbye.
It just was there, you know.
It's always
It was
just right
just there. It
Just
was.
there.